Fifth graders, welcome back to writing. Today we will be starting our new writing unit called Persuasive Writing. So you will be writing a persuasive essay on a topic of your choice. Before we get into that, I have a question for you. So if I told you that I think the Grand Canyon is the very best place to go on vacation, would you believe me or would you ask me why? What about if I said Applebee's is the very best restaurant to go to for dinner? Would you disagree or agree? Or would you ask me why? Well, what if I gave you some reasons? Would you be more likely to believe me? I would say so. I know that if somebody told me something, their opinion, I would probably ask for some reasons as to why before I decided to agree or disagree with them. And that's what you're going to be doing when you make your claim in your paper. Before we get into that, we're going to talk about what it means to persuade someone. To persuade means to cause someone to do or to say something through reasoning or argument, maybe even to believe something. In other words, you're trying to convince your audience using reasons and evidence to support those reasons. Persuasive essays are also known as argumentative essays, and this is because you're making an argument and you're backing up that argument with evidence and reasons. If you haven't already, please stop this video. You can pause it and come back to it. I'd like you to watch the video that was attached to this assignment called Persuasive Writing for Kids. Once you've watched that, go ahead and come back. So where do we see persuasive writing in our daily lives? Well, you may not realize it, but we see persuasive writing all around us. When you see a commercial or an advertisement or a billboard, flyers around town, these are all examples of persuasion, okay? Also, there are persuasive letters that can be written. For example, if you decided that you would like to add a zip line to your playground and you wanted to email or write a letter to your principal, you could write a letter persuading your principal to add a zip line to the playground. Of course, you would need to include reasons as to why he or she should believe you. Another example would be a persuasive essay, and that is what we're going to be working on today. So let's go back to commercials, advertisements, and billboards. When we see these commercials, ads on TV or even around town, they are persuading you to buy their product or their service, okay? So, for instance, if you see a commercial for, let's say, buying new thermal flasks, okay? So, if you saw a commercial about thermal flasks, what reasons would they give you to buy it? Would they just say, come buy our thermal flasks? Or would they say something like, our thermal flasks are made of stainless steel, they have convenient nozzles, and a convenient carrying loop. They keep your water cold for up to 12 hours. So those would be all reasons that would be included in a commercial, and they are persuading you to buy their product. So you're more likely to buy their product or their service if you're given this evidence or these reasons, okay? So how do commercials and advertisements convince you to buy their products or service? They give you reasons. So today's teaching point. When you are composing an argument or making a claim, you will need to collect evidence that allows you to think through the various sides of an argument and support your claim. Now, every argument or every debatable topic has two sides to it. So when we're asking ourselves, should there be zoos? There are two sides to that argument. Yes, there should be zoos because, or no, there should not be zoos because. When you make your claim, say I think that there should be zoos. When I am basing my claim on evidence and reasons, I need to look at the opposite side of the argument as well, because this will help us to find more effective reasons to build our argument. So it allows me to look at the argument from the perspective of someone who disagrees with me and think, if I disagreed with myself, what argument would I make to go against zoos? And then once I know that, I'm able to make my reasons so that you end up convincing them by negating their reasons, so to speak. And we'll get into that more as we're writing our paper, so don't worry too much about that right now. For now, I would like to show you this short clip, and it is a commercial, and you will see in just a second what it's
I have
about.
evidence that proves my dad's a space alien. He speaks a weird language. He drinks green stuff. He says he's from Albuquerque. I'm not buying it. I mean, just look at him. And one more thing, he has a spaceship. The evidence doesn't lie. My dad's an alien.
The highly advanced Audi A6, named to Car and Driver's 10 Best.
Okay, so in that commercial, this was a commercial for an Audi car. A little girl is convincing us that her dad is an alien. Now, what did she do to convince us that her dad was an alien? She gave us evidence and reasons. She said he drinks weird stuff. Just look at him. He was walking in his robot suit with his helmet on. He has a spaceship. So she was convincing her audience that her dad was an alien based on the evidence that she found while being around him, okay? So when we're using our evidence and our reasons, we want to look at it from multiple different perspectives because it can be frustrating to talk to someone who won't even look at a situation from your point of view. I know that I get frustrated when that happens. So in order to better persuade your audience, you need to look at it from their perspective as well. So let's take a look at an example of a persuasive essay. So this essay is called Keeping Your Hands Clean and Dry. Although some people don't like using automatic hand dryers in restrooms, it can be argued that motion-sensing hand dryers are a practical alternative to paper towels. More and more businesses are investing in automatic hand dryers for their restrooms today. For one reason, they are more sanitary than paper towels. Secondly, they are actually cheaper than using paper towels. Lastly, automatic hand dryers keep the restrooms cleaner. I believe that our school would benefit from investing in automatic motion-sensing hand dryers in all the restrooms. First of all, the automatic hand dryer is very sanitary. Instead of pulling on a lever that has been touched by a large number of students, users can just stick their hands under the air dryer. No germs can get on them because there is nothing to touch. Just think how the attendance rate would improve. Kids wouldn't get sick from the germ-infested paper towel dispensers we now use at our school. This would help keep kids' germs hand-free. So we've introduced our topic. We believe that there should be automatic hand dryers instead of paper towels. Our first reason is that they're more sanitary. Let's hear what the reader or the author's second reason is. In addition, if the school buys automatic hand dryers, we can save money that can be spent on more important things. I have noticed that there is a terrible waste of paper towels in the restrooms. For example, students continuously pull on the lever dispensing towels that they do not really need. It is annoying to find the dispenser empty. Our custodian is called several times a day to bring in bundles of replacements just because some kids are wasteful. All of these paper towels cost a lot of money. An automatic hand dryer costs approximately $500 with very little additional cost over time. On the other hand, paper towels can cost $25 a case or about $500 a year, since we use about 20 cases each year. After just 1 year, it would pay for itself. If we installed automatic hand dryers, we would not waste paper towels, and it would save the school a lot of money. So our second reason is that it would save the school a lot of money. Notice we have our intro. Our first body paragraph is about reason number 1. Second body paragraph is about reason number 2. And let's get into our third body paragraph. Finally, our bathroom is a paper towel mess. There are always piles of paper towel on the floor. Sometimes the extras fall from the dispenser unused. Many times, kids bunch their used towel into a ball and aim for a basket. But if they miss the target, the paper ball stays on the floor. Sometimes the towels are even tossed to the ceiling like spitballs. Paper towels leave so much litter in the restrooms that the restrooms are a mess, even before the end of the day. So our third reason is that bathrooms are a mess with paper towel. Now we're going to look at the counter argument. Now remember I talked about looking at it from a different perspective. Some people might think that automatic hand dryers don't dry their hands as thoroughly as paper towels. So we're looking at it from a different person's perspective, someone who disagrees with us and thinks that automatic hand dryers don't work too good. People stand in front of hand dryers for just a few seconds and they are disappointed that their hands do not feel dry. However, studies have shown that when people dry their hands for at least 30 seconds, automatic dryers actually dry much better than paper towels. It is difficult to get every part of your hand dry using paper towels. The blast of air makes sure that your hands are completely dry if you take a few extra seconds. So we've negated their counter argument, and that's what you'll be doing in your paper as well. Keeping kids healthy, saving money, and helping our schools stay clean are strong reasons for installing automatic hand dryers. Every day that goes by without having them means that we are continuing to have problems in our restrooms because we are using paper towels. Let's install automatic hand dryers as soon as possible. So this is an example of what your paper is roughly going to look like. You will have an introduction, you will have 3 body paragraphs for each of your 3 reasons with evidence. You will have a counter argument and then a conclusion, okay? Notice that all of these reasons were backed up with evidence. So your task for today, will you help me? I need your help to determine whether or not the kids in my neighborhood should be required to wear a bike helmet. So let's take a look at your assignment. If you go into Google Classroom, this is your assignment. You will see that I have a Flipgrid posted here and also a Google Slides. So when you open that Google Slides document, this is your assignment. It says, will you help me? I need your help to determine whether or not the kids in my neighborhood should be required to wear a bike helmet. Your task is to, number 1, take a stance. Do you think kids should have to wear a bike helmet? Yes or no? Number 2, support your claim with 3 reasons. Fill out your reasons on the next slide. Number 3, create a commercial presenting your claim along with your 3 reasons on the Flipgrid attached to this assignment. So what you're going to do is, you're going to fill out the slide, reasons why you should or shouldn't have to wear a bike helmet. Now notice the reasons that you give should not be based on your opinion. You can make an opinion as to whether or not you think they should or should not wear a bike helmet, but the reasons need to be based on facts because facts are what convince people as opposed to opinions. So for example, my first reason, I'm going to say that kids should have to wear bike helmets. So my first reason is that in the case of a bicycle accident, heads are often the first body parts to become injured. That's why it is crucial to choose a helmet that fits properly. Wearing the right size helmet protects both your head and your brain, preventing external and internal damage. So I have looked up why kids should wear bike helmets. I've done my research, and this is one reason that I found. So what you're going to do is search either why kids should wear bike helmets or why kids shouldn't wear bike helmets. And you are going to come up with 3 reasons. Then you're going to type in here, using complete sentences, kids should wear bike helmets because your head is the first place to get injured in a typical accident. Okay, so that is my first reason. Now you're going to come up with 3 reasons total. So for each one you should have it filled in, okay? Then once you've done that, you're going to open up the Flipgrid and you're going to pretend like you are on a TV commercial and you are convincing kids. So you should say, kids, something along these lines. Kids, I believe that you should be wearing bike helmets because da 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 da. Okay, so present yourself, and you've made commercials before, so you know what the task is. You're basically making a commercial to convince kids to either wear or not wear bike helmets. Okay, so that's what you're going to be posting on Flipgrid. Let us know if you have any questions.